Have you ever wondered what we as young Africans really need to succeed in today's age? For a good number of years, different governments, organizations have actually been having meetings, dialogues, conferences, discussing different ideas that they actually envision as our solution, being young Africans. But well, today morning, I've actually come here to share with you my perspective based on my over 3 years journey of running capacity building programs within the line of enhancing school-to-work transition. And specifically here in Uganda. Uganda is one interesting country that was actually ranked the second youngest country in the whole world, coming in after Niger, according to the World Economic Forum. And something quite peculiar is that all the 10 youngest countries in the world are actually from Africa. My name is Edmund Walusimbi, and I am the Chief Executive Officer of the mentorship class, which is basically a 6 months training program where we take on young people and look more towards transforming them to become entrepreneurs and leaders in today's age. I was privileged to be part of the first cohort as a mentee, moving on to be a guest speaker within the second cohort, then a coach and head of public relations in the third cohort, head of alumni in the fourth cohort, now the Chief Executive Officer. More to it, I also serve as the founder of the Secret Initiative, where our work is more within inspiring young people to be able to unravel their unique strength, be it through self-awareness or career discovery, alongside being an ambassador within the World Peace Tracks, Startup Africa, and head of marketing for a PropTech group called MIA. And just to really bring out the full essence of this talk, I would just like to take you all just behind a couple of years. It was the year of 2017, within my senior 6 vacation, which is basically the 9 months holiday before one gets to join university. And during this time, I remember I applied to work as a financial advisor with an insurance company. And well, fortunately, I got the job, but I almost got kicked out on my first day of training simply because I was the youngest within the room. So what happened, I stayed around, I sticked around. Then at the end of the 4 days training, I emerged the best within the marketing training that we had. And from there, I began doing more to do with sales, marketing, within insurance. Then along that path, our colleague reached out to me and informed me of a program known as the Health and Development Communication Experts that I actually got to join. And from there, I joined the mentorship class back then in 2017. And it was around this particular point in my life when the advanced level results were released for my high school education. I emerged successful to actually pursue my first course, which is an undergraduate in mechanical engineering. And wow, my relatives were just so happy and excited about the news. But most especially my mom, because all the way back since I was a child, she was taking care of all the financial obligations back then, having lost my dad at 1 year. And I remember something quite interesting in this time, the joy she had in her eyes. Wow, it was really quite enthralling. And then I thought to myself that, all right, I've got a government sponsorship. Why not probably go out and be able to talk to some young people and get to inspire them in regards to ways they can actually, say, apply for government sponsorship and ably get it. Then I was thinking that probably everyone, to more secure their path to success. Once you acquire government sponsorship, you do the course you want, you can graduate, then after graduation, you'd get the job, and you'd have really the good life everyone is really looking to. So that began my quest then in July 2017, more to do with presentations, reaching out to different schools. Later on in April 2018, I then published a book entitled The Secret to Getting Government Sponsorship on Merit. And within my second year of running this program, the Secret Initiative, something really occurred to me. Something more within the line of what actually happens after university. Something more to do with the sad reality that actually not everyone who gets to graduate gets a job on spot. And some take 2 years, others 3 years. Some even never actually get jobs. And just to bring out these numbers right, in the year of 2015, the Uganda Bureau of Statistics carried out a research entitled the School to Work Survey. And they were trying to actually find out how young people are faring. And according to this research, 27% of the young people surveyed, they reached out to a total of 3,000 households. and 27% of the young people surveyed had successfully completed their school to work transition, while 56 were still in their school to work transition, 17% hadn't yet even started. And more interestingly, the 27% who actually successfully completed that school to work transition, they took a period of 3 years on average to reach that point. So what basically it means that if, say, we had a room, if, say, 100 people, you'd only find that only 27 of us would be having satisfactory jobs or forms of employment that we had to acquire after a period of 3 years from the end of school. And to top it all up, the World Bank then also publicized along the way that every year about 400,000 young graduates enter the job market to compete for merely 80,000 formal jobs. Now, I don't know about you, but me, these statistics is really giving me goosebumps, wondering how am I going to survive after university? How is the world going to actually take beyond? How are me and my friends going to thrive in the world after university? So what happens is that you find that a good number of young people then look towards starting small or medium enterprises, SMEs, businesses. And as a country, we have quite, I could say, a very high place within entrepreneurship, having been ranked the most entrepreneurial country in 2015 by the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor. That's us, that's Uganda. But then also on the other hand, our SMEs contribute to about 90% of our private sector employment. Though on the other hand, we also one of the countries with the leading failure rates in regards to business. So basically on one side, you have young people that are leaving university looking for jobs with their challenges. Then you have also young people who are starting small businesses with their challenges, which brings me to the question I have for you today, which is, what do we as young Africans need to succeed? Majority of us will say, let's start with the education system. Let's change probably different policies, which is amazing, which is great. But what can we do as the young Africans that make up more than half of the whole African continent? What can we decide to do today within our circles of influence that can be able to further propel us forward as we look into entering the employment or the business world? And today I just basically have 4 key things which I want to share with you in this line of us better preparing ourselves for the real world. The very first thing I believe we as young Africans need to do is to acknowledge our current reality. To acknowledge our current reality and abandon this feeling of entitlement that guess what, you graduate today, you get your dream job within a week, you get your luxurious car, it's going to be a great life. Or maybe start a business today and guess what, 1 month on the road, business is going so well, you're flourishing. We need to acknowledge that as young Africans, there are quite a number of things we cannot only learn in school. And this can be able to thrive us forward, to be able to look into also other areas we can be able to learn from as we proceed with our journey. We need to acknowledge the reality now. To acknowledge this reality and desist from living a dream that everything will be just fine. I just have to do the same thing over and over again. I just have to follow the process as it is, and automatically things will come out well. We need to look more into acknowledging our current reality. The second thing I believe we need to do as young Africans is to embrace and be self-aware of who we are as people. What are your strengths? Yeah? What are your talents? What's your personality? We need to look within and analyze how we are as young people, what strengths we have as people now. We need to abandon this feeling of, I think I must pursue a particular line of course because my father did it. Or maybe we actually don't have enough doctors in the family, so I think I need to become a doctor to be able to take our family to the next level. We need to look within and build onto our capabilities as young people today. If you're good at music, perfect. Pursue your education line, build something in music, learn and ably start your journey of building yourself and acquiring as much value that you can actually be able to display and sell off to the world. The third thing I feel that we as young Africans need to actually embrace is the spirit of volunteering. The amazing fact about volunteering is it actually gets to open up one's mind to be able to learn from the real employment world as it is. You get to get all these insights coming in as you come in day to day, as you probably pursue as you do a particular operation within the company. You get to learn how things open, and basically it's like you're making the world your class. An interesting about volunteering is something I discovered quite a few months back. I was actually reading a report published by UNICEF entitled Unpacking School to Work Transition. And this report was published in August 2019, and it was basically looking at school to work transition, which is the passage of young people from the end of school to a satisfactory or desirable form of employment. And the interesting thing with this research is that they mainly brought out 3 key drivers. And for these 3 key drivers, one was skills demand, which looks at the number of good jobs within the country or the economy that can be able to take us, the young people, on. The second key driver within this was actually the availability of skills for work, looking more within how better young people are prepared beyond their education attainment. And the third one was skills activation, which looks at different factors in place that can be able to link us to opportunities. And the interesting thing about volunteering is that through volunteering, you can be able to hack your way through one, developing the skills you need for work. Through volunteering, you're also activating yourself to really better learn and enhance yourself. And the fourth, and I believe the most powerful need for us as young Africans today is to really embrace mentorship. Mentorship from people who have actually walked the journey before us. Mentorship from people who have actually been through experiences so that we can get to listen and hear those conversations of how did they start? How was life for them after school? How were their hustles along their journey of actually reaching the point that we now look at and really envision ourselves to be in? We need to have these conversations and be able to learn from them. Not only shall we learn, but also as people, it will save us from quite a lot of mistakes we can make along the journey and a lot of losses we would actually make along the journey with all these insights coming in. And as the mentorship class, this is actually basically the work that we do more within making sure that someone at quite a young age can be able to actually open their eyes and get to see the reality and get to actually embrace different tactics and tools they can actually be able to use to thrive in the employment world. Those 4 key aspects are ones that I feel at heart, basing from my experience of reaching over 10,000 students and running capacity buildings within different schools and different sectors. Those 4 key things are ones that I feel at heart can be a solution to us, the greater percentage, to us that make up more than half of the entire continent, to look into our circles of influence and begin doing things now. Let's not wait for the government. Let's not wait for the policymakers. Let's decide to work within our circles of influence and kickstart our journey. I hope that you listening to this can be able to actually ponder upon this message and further take it on as we change the course of our continent today. Thank you.